Good evening and welcome to the evening news. I am Kayode Adebayo. Prophet Muhammad is an exemplary leader who did everything humanly possible to prevent bloodshed in Mecca, despite the level of persecution against him and his ministry by fleeing the city at the expense of retaliation against the unbelievers. President of Osun State Muslim Community, Alhaji Mustafa Olawoye, who disclosed this on OSBC TV Current Affairs program Saturday Morning Treat, encouraged world leaders to copy the administrative style of the Prophet, especially in the area of security, which enabled economic viability of Saudi Arabia Peninsula.
We are spreading in the country today is because we are not following the teachings of Hijrah. Hijrah tells us that you are patient with other people. You move from what is bad to what is good. Try to change your mind to what is good. You know, you worship money, we worship materials in this country. Nobody wants to worship the Almighty Allah himself, who created us and gave us the sustenance himself. We cheat one another, we kill, we maim, we are so corrupt, and this is anti-God. When God is angry with a nation, that nation is trouble. The Prophet moved because something good should be meted out to people. He prevented killing of people, especially women and children in Mecca. That's because they hated him because of that. He said he should not be corrupt. Whatever you owe somebody, give him back what is due to him. If you employ somebody, give him what is relative to what he needs to, to maintain himself.
The Muslim leader enjoined the pressmen to always balance their reports in a way to ensure fair, just, and equitable society.
The media has the power to make or mar what you have in the nation. For instance, there are certain things you have to cover. Negative reporting is rampant. It's more than 80% in this country. You don't report what is good. So we have to appeal to our people in the media, both print and electronic media. Please make this country good for us, because you can destroy a government, you can destroy the nation, you can also make the nation great by reporting us to the outside world that we are good people, we are not what they usually think we are.
The House of Representatives Committee on Defense held an emergency meeting with the military high command over threats by terrorists to attack the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Reports say that the committee's meeting with military top brass took place about 24 hours after the President Muhammadu Buhari met with the nation's security chiefs under the auspices of the National Security Council at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Some members of the National Assembly, especially the Minority Caucus, had issued a 6-week ultimatum to the president to address the security crisis across the country or be impeached. The opposition lawmakers who issued the threat were said to have the backing of some aggrieved members of the ruling All Progressives Congress. The meeting with the military top brass came less than 24 hours after gunmen attacked a military checkpoint at the Suma Rock, Madala, a few kilometers from the seat of power. The terrorists who launched the ferocious attack on the soldiers manning the checkpoint also abducted 5 persons. The incident occurred on the heels of a similar attack on the Presidential Guards Brigade troops on the Buhari-Kubwa Road, in which a captain, a lieutenant, and 6 other soldiers were killed, while others were wounded. The commander of the Vigilance Group of Nigeria and Buhari Area Council, Titus Eyebenye, who was killed during the attack on the Presidential Guard Brigade, has been buried. The Nigerian Police Force has announced the inauguration of a committee to combat terrorist financial streams. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, during an event at the IGP Conference Hall, Force Headquarters, Abuja, made the announcement of the committee that will review documents from the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit and provide necessary information for the effective functioning of the Financial Action Task Force in the country. According to the police headquarters, the committee comprises 21 notable, highly dedicated and experienced officers drawn based on their professionalism and specialization. The committee, headed by the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Olaolu Adegbite, will also provide data on anti-money laundering, counter-financing, terrorism, and counter-proliferation finance to determine the level of the nation's implementation of the strategic modalities emplaced to tackle insecurity and financial crimes in tandem with international best practices. The committee will also work on 22 terms of reference, which include the draft, domestication, and implementation of the standard operation procedure on parallel investigation and interagency exchange of information, among others. The IGP, while reiterating the commitment of his administration to tackling the menace of money laundering, terrorism, and proliferation of arms financing, enjoined members of the committee to work assiduously towards attaining its mandate and its reports to be submitted within 1 week. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have raided Wuse Zone 4 housing most Bureau de Change operators in Abuja. The EFCC operatives were said to be investigating claims that some individuals are mopping up and hoarding foreign currency, thereby causing scarcity that is driving up the value of the dollar. The EFCC spokesperson, Wilson Wajare, was not reachable for comment on the matter. It was gathered that the exchange rate between the Naira and the US dollar has continued to fall, with the Naira falling beyond the 700 Naira per dollar threshold at the parallel market. Bureau de Change operators cited lack of dollars and a surge in demand for the recent uncontrolled uptrend recorded in the market. A source at the EFCC with knowledge of the matter said the anti-graft agency stormed Bureau de Change farms in Wuse Zone 4, Abuja, for a covert operation to dislodge currency speculators who are alleged to be massively mopping up available foreign currencies. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested 37 suspected drug users and dealers and seized 820 ampoules of pentazocine injections in Katsina State. The NDLA commander in the state, Mr. Mohammed Bashir, told newsmen in Katsina that the suspects were arrested within a 24-hour operation. He explained that 5 of the 37 arrested were suspected drug dealers, while 32 were drug users, including a woman and a cripple. Bashir said that all the 32 suspected drug users will be tested and the result will determine whether they will be resident clients or released. He said the issue of substance that abuse in the state has become alarming in spite of efforts by the NDLA and the state government to contain it, noting that the NDLEA will render counseling and treatment for those arrested. 3 members of staff of Independent National Electoral Commission have been arrested for creating an illegal permanent voters card registration unit in Ijesha-Tedo area of Lagos. The INEC officials, Mrs. Rita, Mr. Ikechukwu Isuchukwu, and Ms. Agboklina Ebigun, were apprehended by the police for conspiring to register people. Their arrest followed a complaint by the Chairman Resident Association, Rajik Azim, to the police, who alleged of moves by them to disenfranchise some members of the public. However, to enable them continue with their work, the INEC officials were granted bail by the IPO in charge of the case, who instructed them to report back. And now to sports. Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dare, has received Oluwatobiloba Amosun for the first time after she brought glory to Nigeria at the World Athletics Championships in Oregon. Sunday Dare once again expressed his delight with the achievements of Toby, reminding her that she has written her name boldly in history. He urged her, alongside other athletes, to remain focused on the task at hand in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. According to reports, Team Nigeria will begin its journey to triumph in the track and field event of the Commonwealth Games from 1st of August this year. And on the foreign scene, Pope Francis has said he is considering stepping down if his health could not allow him serve in the way he should. Pope Francis made the comment at the end of a trip to Canada where he apologized to indigenous people, stressing that for the moment he intends to continue in his duties and will be guided by God as to when he will step down. He said that his retirement is an option but has not knocked on that door, as he is not thinking about the possibility. In recent months, Pope Francis has suffered ongoing knee trouble that has impacted his mobility as he spent much of his visit to Canada in a wheelchair. However, he has previously dismissed speculation about more serious life-threatening illness. The Pope, whose predecessor, Benedict XVI, retired due to ill health in 2013, did say that he was keen to visit Ukraine soon, but would have to seek advice of his doctors first. On his visit to Canada, his somber focus had been to apologize to indigenous people of the region for the wrongs committed against them by those within the Catholic Church. And that ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Please join us at 7 for the major report. Good evening.
Ẹ̀kúrọ̀lẹ́ ìròyìn ìrọ̀lẹ́ ọ̀la mọ̀ fún yín Ọláwùmí Ọláníyì olùkọ́ mi olórí àjọ àwọn mùsùlùmí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Sheikh Mustapha Ọláwìyí ti ṣàpèjúwe Ànábì Muhammad gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣáájú rere tó sa gbogbo ipá láti fòpin sí ìwà ìbọ̀rìṣà ní Mẹ́kà láì wo bí àwọn èèyàn ṣe gbógun tì tó èyí tó mú kúrò ní Mẹ́kà lọ sí Mẹ̀dínà. Sheikh Mustapha Ọláwìyí sọ èyí di mímọ̀ lásìkò tó ń kópa lórí ètò ẹ̀ka ìròyìn àtọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ ti iléeṣẹ́ yìí tá a mọ̀ sí Saturday Morning Treat. Ó wá rọ àwọn aṣáájú lágbàáyé láti ṣe àwòkọ́ṣe àpẹẹrẹ rere tí Ànábì Muhammad fi lélẹ̀ èyí tó mú kí ètò ààbò nílẹ̀ Saudi Arabia ò dúró déédéé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣokùnfà bí ètò ọrọ̀ ajé wọn ṣe fẹsẹ̀ rinlẹ̀. Aṣáájú ẹ̀sìn Islam náà tún rọ àwọn oníròyìn láti máa kó àkóyawọ́ nígbà tí wọ́n bá ń gbé ìròyìn jáde bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kí wọ́n máa sọ rere nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kí wọ́n sì máa ṣiṣẹ́ wọn níbàámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà tó gbé iṣẹ́ náà ró. Ó tọ̀rọ̀ síwájú sí i.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí àjọ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ara wa, Ànábì ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó lẹ́ni bá pa ẹ̀mí kan ó dàbí ẹni tó pa ẹ̀mí gbogbo ayé ni. Boko Haram, Boko Hago ti wẹ̀yìn wọ̀nyẹn, àdé Muslims. Tí wọ́n bá yára láti ẹni sọ kẹ́ ẹ pé àwọn mùsùlùmí rè é sì rá àwọn tí ń bẹ lọ́dọ̀ yín bí o millions of them tẹ́ ẹ̀ gbọ́ wàhálà kàkà. Àwọn èèyàn ní ń lo àwọn wọ̀nyẹn bí wọ́n sì ń lo àwọn tí ń fọ́ páìpù ní iwá àpèpọ̀ ní south tí wọ́n ń lo àwọn tí ń kidnap ní ọ̀dọ̀ wámbínà àti ní kókèrè. Ṣé nígbà tí wọ́n bá ṣèyí tí wọ́n ń gbowó ńlá tí wọ́n orúkọ lẹ́wà pè nílẹ̀ sí ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀lé Kúránì ká sì tẹ̀lé ní ti Báíbù bá sọ. Oníròyìn á bẹ̀ yín gangan ẹ dákun nǹkan tó bá dáa tẹ́ ẹ rí pé yóò mú ìlú tòrò tẹ́ ẹ rí pé inú gbogbo àjọ dùn tí ìlọsíwájú ò bá wa ìnìkan jẹ́ ká máa gbé gbogbo èyí tó jẹ́ pé lágbájá bú lágbájá ọ̀tá akínní ni ọ̀tá akínní ni ẹ jẹ́ ká jìnnà sí i ní tẹ́ ẹ bá gbé jáde fún wa láàrí ó sì ti rìn jìnnà ipa àti yín gan ju tìjọba lọ sẹ́yìn la fẹ́ bẹ̀ ju ẹ̀yin oníròyìn ẹ̀ dákun gbogbo ìròyìn èké ìròyìn tí ò dáa ìròyìn ká rìn hóhò ká sí wá sẹ́yìn tí ò yẹ ká yóò máa rí ẹ bá a fòpin sí i Ọlọ́run ṣe dáadáa fún gbogbo yín náà.
Ìgbìmọ̀ tẹ́kótó ilé aṣojú-ṣòfin tó wà fétò ààbò ti ṣe ìpàdé pàjáwìrì pẹ̀lú àwọn lọ́gàálọ́gàá níléeṣẹ́ ológun ilẹ̀ yìí nítorí bí àwọn onísùnmọ̀mí ṣe ń pètèpèrò láti kọlu ìlú ilẹ̀ yìí Àbújá. Àrìgbọ́ pé lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ kan tí ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari ṣe ìpàdé pẹ̀lú àwọn olórí ẹ̀ka ètò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí nílẹ̀gbẹ́ ààrẹ l'Àbújá lórí bí ètò ààbò ṣe rí làwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ náà pe ìpàdé wọn. Díẹ̀ lára àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àti àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ yìí ló fún ààrẹ ní gbèdéke ọ̀sẹ̀ 6 pé káàrẹ wójútùú sí ètò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí tàbí kí wọ́n yọ ọ́ nípò ààrẹ. Àwọn aṣòfin tó jẹ́ ti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú alátakò tí wọ́n ń dún mọ̀húrú yìí ni wọ́n torí àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn akẹgbẹ́ wọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC. Ìpàdé náà ló tún wáyé lẹ́yìn tí àwọn onísùnmọ̀mí lọ kọlu ibùdó àwọn ológun tó ń ṣàyẹ̀wò tó wà ní Zumaro Madala tí kò jìnnà púpọ̀ sólù ilẹ̀ yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n tún jí àwọn 5 míì gbé níbi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ náà. Kò mọ léyìí nìkan níṣe ni àwọn onísùnmọ̀mí ọ̀hún tún lọ kọlu àwọn ológun tó ń ṣọ́ ààrẹ lójú ọ̀nà Gwari sí Kubwa tí wọ́n sì gbẹ̀mí àwọn ológun bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn míì tún farapa. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti kéde ìgbìmọ̀ kan tí yóò máa pinwọ́ bí àwọn onísùnmọ̀mí ṣe ń rí owó láti fi ṣiṣẹ́ ibi wọn. Ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Usman Baba ló kéde ìgbésẹ̀ yìí níbi ètò kan tó wáyé lórí iléeṣẹ́ àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó wà l'Àbújá. Ó ṣàlàyé pé ìgbìmọ̀ náà yóò tọpinpin gbogbo àkọsílẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá rí kójọ láti ọ̀dọ̀ ikọ̀ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ èyí tí yóò ran iṣẹ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ láti lè tọpinpin bí wọ́n ṣe ń rówó. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí olú iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ṣe sọ, àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tó ní ìrírí bíi 21 ni wọ́n wà nínú ìgbìmọ̀ náà. Ìgbákejì ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá Ọláolú Adégbìtẹ́ lálága ìgbìmọ̀ náà tí yóò sì ní àkọsílẹ̀ àwọn tó fẹ̀yìn pọn owó aráàlú, àwọn tó ń ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ àwọn onísùnmọ̀mí nípasẹ̀ owó wọn. Déyìí kò sì ṣẹ̀yìn àti kojú ìpèníjà tó ń fi ẹ̀ka ètò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí lápè pẹ̀lú àwọn ìwà ọ̀daràn míì. Ìgbìmọ̀ náà yóò tún ṣiṣẹ́ lórí ọ̀kanòjọ̀kan ìwádìí bí wọ́n ṣe fi ìròyìn ṣọwọ́ síra wọn àti bí wọ́n ṣe ń rówó gbà. Ọ̀gá àgbà àwọn ọlọ́pàá lórílẹ̀-èdè yìí tẹnumọ́ ìfarajìn ìjọba láti fòpin sí ìwà jíjí owó aráàlú kó, ìwà sùnmọ̀mí, kíkó ohun ìjà olóró kiri àtàwọn ìwà aláàbì míì. ó wá rọ àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ náà láti ṣiṣẹ́ tí wọ́n gbélé wọn lọ́wọ́ dáadáa kí wọ́n sì jábọ̀ láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ kan sákòókò yìí. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ EFCC la ibùdó kan tí wọ́n ń ṣe pàṣípààrọ̀ owó sí ilẹ̀ òkèèrè tó wà ní iléeṣẹ́ kan tó jẹ́ Zone 4 Àbújá yẹbẹyẹbẹ. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ EFCC náà ni wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ ìwádìí wọn pẹ̀lú bí wọ́n ṣe láwọn èèyàn yìí ń kó owó ilẹ̀ òkèèrè pamọ́, èyí tó mú kí dọ́là wọn níta. Agbẹnusọ àjọ EFCC Wilson Nwajare kò lè fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ náà múlẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n nítorí iye tí wọ́n ń ṣe pàṣípààrọ̀ owó náírà sí dọ́là tó wà láàrin ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀rin náírà sí dọ́là kan ló ṣokùnfà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí. Ọwọ́ àjọ NDLEA ti bá èèyàn 23 tí wọ́n fura sí wípé wọ́n gbé oògùn olóró àti abẹ́rẹ́ pentazocine bíi 2,200 ní ìpínlẹ̀ Katsina. Ọ̀gá àgbà àjọ NDLEA nípínlẹ̀ náà, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Mohammed Bashir, ló ṣàlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí fáwọn oníròyìn ní Katsina. Ó ṣàlàyé pé 5 lára àwọn èèyàn 22 ni wọn yóò ṣàyẹ̀wò fún bóyá wọn ó yọ̀ǹda wọn. Ó fi kún pé ọ̀rọ̀ gbígbé oògùn olóró ti di gbọmọgbọmọ ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà láì wo akitiyan àjọ ọ̀hún àti bí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Katsina ṣe ń ṣọ́nà àti pinwọ́ àwọn ìwà ìtọ́ yìí láwùjọ. 3 lára àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ elétò ìdìbò INEC lọ́wọ́ bà nípínlẹ̀ Èkó pé wọ́n ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ibùdó gbígba káàdì ìdìbò lọ́nà àìtọ́ sí agbègbè Ìjẹ̀ṣà-Tẹ̀dó nípínlẹ̀ náà. Àwọn èèyàn ọ̀hún ni arábìnrin Rita, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ikechukwu Izochukwu àti arábìnrin Ogbonuna Ebiogun tọwọ́ àwọn ọlọ́pàá bá pé wọ́n lẹ̀dí àpò pọ̀ máwọn èèyàn láti wo ìwà yìí. Bí ọwọ́ ṣe bà wọ́n yìí kò sẹ́yìn bí alága àwọn olùgbé agbègbè náà, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Raji Azeem, ṣe lọ́ọ́ fi ẹ̀sùn tó àwọn ọlọ́pàá létí pé kó fún àwọn olùgbé agbègbè náà láǹfààní láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ nípa káàdì ìdìbò, ṣùgbọ́n láti lè jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa bá iṣẹ́ wọn lọ, wọ́n gba béèlì àwọn èèyàn yìí pẹ̀lú àlàyé pé kí wọ́n padà yọjú sí àgọ́ ọlọ́pàá nígbà tí wọ́n bá parí iṣẹ́ wọn. Lórí ìròyìn eré ìdárayá, mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ ọ̀dọ́ àti ìdàgbàsókè eré ìdárayá lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sunday Dare, ti gba Olúwatóbilọ́ba Amusan lálejò fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ lẹ́yìn tó gbàmí góòlù wálé forílẹ̀‐èdè yìí níbi ìdíje àwọn eléré ìdárayá lágbàáyé tó wáyé nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sunday Dare fi ìdùnnú rẹ̀ hàn sí àṣeyọrí tí Tóbilọ́ba Amusan ṣe, tó sì rán létí pé ó ti kọ orúkọ ara rẹ̀ sínú ìwé ìtàn. Ó pàrọwà sí Tóbi Amusan àti àwọn eléré ìdárayá yòókù láti ní àfojúsùn kí wọ́n sì dájú pé wọ́n ṣe dáadáa ní ìdíje eré ìdárayá ayò Commonwealth tó ti gbéra sọ ní Birmingham nílẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì látọjọ́ Ajé tó ń bọ̀, ti ṣe ọjọ́ 1 oṣù kẹjọ ọdún yìí. Láwọn eléré ìdárayá láti orílẹ̀-èdè yìí yóò máa kópa tó jọjú níbi ìdíje náà. Nílẹ̀ òkèèrè, Pope Francis lóhùn ẹgbẹ́yẹ̀wò láti yẹ̀bá nípò tẹ́yìn kò sì ṣẹ̀yìn ipò tí ìlera ara rẹ̀ wà, tó sì jẹ́ kó ṣiṣẹ́ tí wọn yóò sì tọ́ bó ti tọ́ àti bó ti yẹ. Pápá mímọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ yìí lópin ìrìn àjò rẹ̀ sí Canada, ní ibi tí ó ti tọrọ àforíjì lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn kan pẹ̀lú àlàyé pé òun dúró de àkókò náà, ṣùgbọ́n òun yóò tẹ̀síwájú nínú ojúṣe òun pẹ̀lú ìtọ́ni Ọlọ́run láti mọ àkókò tí yóò kúrò nípò tó wà. Pope Francis sọ pé tó bá wu òun, ó lè kéde àkókò tí yóò fẹ̀yìntì, ṣùgbọ́n kì í ṣe ohun tó kàn ní nírúfẹ́ àsìkò yìí. Ní nǹkan bí oṣù díẹ̀ sẹ́yìn, lójoojó ń ṣe Pope Francis nítorí orúnkún tó ń dùn ún, tó sì ṣokùnfà kó má lè rìn ìrìn àjò nítorí orí kẹ̀kẹ́ àwọn àkàndá ló wà ní gbogbo àkókò tó ń rìnrìn àjò lọ sí Canada, ṣùgbọ́n tó ní ààrẹ náà kì í ṣe ohun tó lè lọ títí lọ́dún 2013 ní Pope Benedict tí Pope Francis gbàṣẹ lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ fẹ̀yìntì nítorí àìlera. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Pápá mímọ́ wòye pé òun yóò ṣàbẹ̀wò sí Ukraine láìpẹ́ àti pé àwọn dókítà tó ń tọ́jú òun yóò kọ́kọ́ gba òun nímọ̀ràn. Lásìkò àbẹ̀wò rẹ̀ sí Canada, ṣe láṣáájú ẹ̀sìn náà tọrọ àforíjì lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn kan lórí ìwà táwọn ọmọ ìjọ kátólíìkì kan ń wù sí wọn. Èyí ló pin ìròyìn ìrọ̀lẹ́ fún ti àkókò yìí. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ alágo 7 àbọ̀ alẹ́ nígbà táwọn mú àpéjọpọ̀ ìròyìn wá sójú ìwòran yín. Títí ìgbà náà, ẹ kú kalẹ̀.